Hi, Mr. Winters here. I'm going to talk to you about how to clean your string instrument, violin, viola, or cello, or bass. Now each time you play it, of course, you should be using one of these, a polishing cloth. It's very soft cotton fabric. You can use a t-shirt, an old t-shirt, and cut a piece off if you need to, but you can buy these that are perfect for the job for $3 or $4 at a music store. So each time you play it, you should take a minute to wipe off the rosin dust from your strings and the instrument, okay? But once in a while, you got to put a little extra time into doing some real cleaning and making sure that the wood part of your instrument is perfectly clean. So let me show you something to listen for about that. Can you hear this sound here? I'm just going to rub this with my finger. Hear that sound? What we want it to sound like is this. It's almost perfectly silent. I'm going to call that squeaky clean, even though it doesn't make a sound at all. That's what clean, shiny wood should sound like. But typically under here, especially, we have that really loud sound because there's caked on rosin dust that makes it bumpy and rough. So how to take care of that is to take your polishing cloth and to rub it, but it's not enough just to rub it a few times. You've got to really put some pressure and some repetition, and you just keep on scrubbing it. Got to put some elbow grease into it, some real weight, some pressure, some speed, get some heat going. So I'm wiping this over and over. Let me see what it sounds like now. Oh, that's better. Worse. Better. So the place I wiped is a little better. I'm going to keep going at it for a bit here. And if you don't do this ever, then you get a total layer of rosin that's constantly on your instrument, and it just, over time, it starts to turn black and collects dust better. Things stick to it worse. Hair and dust sticks to it worse. So I just like getting that nice and squeaky clean under there. All right, I've kept wiping it. Ooh, hear that now? So here's what it sounded like before I did that. Here's what it sounds like where I wiped. Almost perfectly silent. Here's what we were aiming for. Okay, see how close we are to that? So, I could go longer on that and get it more squeaky clean, but that's how you really clean or, quote, polish a violin. Now you can buy some violin polish. You can buy a special polish for it. You're welcome to use that if you want, but as a school teacher, I just want my students to do this once in a while. Now, sometimes getting the rosin off the strings is hardest to them, especially if they haven't been cleaned for a long time. And getting the rosin off the strings can be extra difficult because it gets caked on. Sometimes it starts to turn kind of black. Okay, and so sometimes for the strings you need something called denatured alcohol. You buy it in a can or bottle. It's called denatured alcohol, and you just take that stuff and put just a little bit on a part of the rag, being very careful not to get that denatured alcohol on the wood part of the instrument, because it will take off the rosin, but it will also take off the shiny polish. You don't want to use denatured alcohol on the wood part of the instrument because it will also take off the varnish. And then pretty soon it'll take off the coloring also, the brown color, and then you'll just have pure wood with no finish on it. It doesn't look very good. So you got to keep that stuff off of the wood part of the instrument. But you can put it on the strings, and it's great at dissolving the rosin and getting your strings shiny and squeaky clean again. Lastly, it can be extra tricky to get under the tailpiece here or under the fingerboard. And you certainly can't get the same kind of pressure or heat. So you just get the cloth under there the best you can. Feed it through. Let's see. It's hard with one hand. Feed it through. Get it under there, and you can get this and get under here as well to just help keep the dust off of it and to keep it clean as possible. Not only will your violin or viola or cello bass look better and stay looking nicer a lot longer, but your mom and dad will be really proud of you for having a shiny instrument. So, thank you for watching. I hope you keep everything nice and clean.